Welcome to On This Day, where we look back at the moments that made history, one day at a time. From major world events to the weird and unexpected, every date has a story. So, what happened on 16th of July? Let's find out. July 16th has a unique energy in the historical timeline. It's a day marked by colossal leaps forward, into space, into peace, and sometimes into chaos. From rockets leaving Earth to revolutions shifting power, this day seems to attract events that quite literally move the world. Whether it's science, culture, or a surprise twist in politics, July 16th has a bit of everything. Let's start with a bang, quite literally. In 1945, when the first ever atomic bomb was detonated in New Mexico. Known as the Trinity Test, it marked the beginning of the nuclear age. Scientists working on the Manhattan Project watched the desert sky light up with terrifying beauty. Just weeks later, that technology would be used in warfare, changing global conflict forever. Jumping ahead to 1969, millions around the world tuned in as Apollo 11 launched from Kennedy Space Center in Florida. On board were Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins, three men heading for the moon. It was the start of one of humanity's greatest adventures, and just 4 days later, we'd hear those famous words, "That's one small step for man." Back in 1999, the world was stunned when John F. Kennedy Jr., his wife Carolyn, and her sister Lauren Bessette died in a tragic plane crash off the coast of Massachusetts. JFK Jr. had been flying to a family wedding when the small aircraft went down. His death was not just a personal tragedy and felt like the end of an era for America's most famous political dynasty. On July 16, 1790, the Residence Act was signed into law, establishing Washington, D.C. as the permanent capital of the United States. The land was carved out between Maryland and Virginia, and while it took years to develop, it became the heart of American government, and a city full of history, politics, and monuments. In 1951, the novel The Catcher in the Rye was published by J.D. Salinger. With its sarcastic narrator, teenage angst, and honest voice, it resonated with readers around the world. Holden Caulfield became a literary icon, and the book sparked both acclaim and controversy. It's still one of the most widely read and banned books in American schools. Let's rewind to 1935 when the first parking meter was installed in Oklahoma City. It cost just 5 cents per hour and was meant to encourage turnover in front of downtown shops. Drivers hated it, but cities loved it. And let's just say meters have stuck around ever since. In 1994, fragments of the Shoemaker-Levy 9 comet began smashing into Jupiter. Over several days, the massive planet took hit after hit, each impact leaving dark scars in its atmosphere. It was the first time humans had ever observed a collision between two solar system bodies in real time. Jupiter may be huge, but even it couldn't dodge a cosmic punch. Love discovering what happened on this day in history? Hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Back in 1956, Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus gave its final performance under a traditional big top tent. Television and changing entertainment tastes were pulling audiences away, and the circus had to adapt. They moved into indoor arenas, but the end of the tent era marked a nostalgic close for a unique form of entertainment. On July 16, 1979, Iraqi Vice President Saddam Hussein took full control of the country, officially becoming president. His rule would last decades, marked by war, dictatorship, and eventually his downfall. It was a turning point not just for Iraq, but for the balance of power in the Middle East. In 2005, Disneyland celebrated its 50th anniversary in a big way. The park opened its doors in 1955 with rides like the Jungle Cruise and Peter Pan's Flight. By 2005, it had become a global empire of theme parks, movies, and mouse ears. And the original Magic Kingdom was still going strong. Back in 1942, Anne Frank began rewriting her diary with the goal of publishing it after the war. She had heard a Dutch government minister encourage citizens to document their lives during the Nazi occupation. Anne's diary would go on to become one of the most powerful accounts of the Holocaust, her voice preserved forever in ink. Let's go to 2004 when Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy hit theaters. Starring Will Ferrell as a clueless 1970s news anchor, the film didn't just make audiences laugh. It became an instant cult classic. Stay classy, San Diego. In 1439, kissing was officially banned in England to stop the spread of the plague. Yes, kissing. Authorities believed lip-to-lip contact might be transmitting the deadly disease, and so smooching in public became outlawed. It didn't quite stop the plague, but it makes for a fascinating and weird health measure from history. And in 2016, thousands of people marched in Istanbul to commemorate the failed military coup that took place exactly 1 year earlier. The attempt to overthrow the Turkish government had shaken the nation, and July 16th became a day of remembrance and resilience for millions of Turks who stood against the uprising. That's what happened on 16th of July throughout history. Made it this far? Drop your favorite historical fact in the comments. Learned something new? Hit subscribe and come back tomorrow. You never know what the past has in store.